Thanks for your introduction, Master of Ceremonies. And I'm going to try as best as I can to reduce my presentation to just about 20 minutes because I prepared for 30 minutes. But I understand what it's like after lunch. But could I just ask, can everybody hear me okay? Can you hear me? Okay, thank you very much. Now, my presentation will really touch on four basic things. One is a little bit of history because it always helps for us to understand where we are coming from in order to determine where we may go to. And the second one, I want to speak a little bit about the research and development which we have been doing on cannabis for wealth creation. And I'm going to focus basically on the work that we have done through Medicanja. You see it on the screen there, Medicanja. This company was the first company in the region which was set up to do research, development, products, as well as education on cannabis. And this was done even before any government took the decision to liberalize. So in a way, we are proud to say that we saw where we needed to go and we moved in that direction. Now, I'm going to move on from there and say very quickly a little bit of the history. As you can see there, there's this controversy, and what I'm saying about Jamaica holds well for the rest of the English-speaking Caribbean, in that much of the cannabis we got came from India. And in fact, you will note that we keep on speaking about ganja rather than cannabis, and certainly not marijuana. So that's where we have been focused. But we have had persons who from Africa during the slave trade who brought their own types of cannabis. And it was a combination of the East Indian cannabis and the African cannabis, which is alleged to be making the Jamaican cannabis special. And as you know, we went through a very difficult period of prohibition and criminalization. But in February 2015, as I think most people know, a number of changes were made, and you can see on the screen there where we have now moved into medical cannabis, and a lot of things have been happening in Jamaica in this area. And I'm proud to say that we have been trendsetters in this area, and you'll see more about this afterwards. I can't help but making mention of our cultural side, where grandmothers, and I'm sure this is good for the rest of the region too, who found that this was one of the best ways of offering treatment for a variety of problems, and this was therefore very important. However, while Bob Marley and the Rastafarian groups helped to make the matter of cannabis global, Jamaica is seen as one of the most important areas for this. It has also created some problems for us in the development, because a stigma is there about the smoking and what it can do. And what we have been trying to do in my group is to show people that we have moved beyond smoking and getting high, because there is over a $300 billion potential of products and services which can come from cannabis. Now, on this note, I want to say here that we took a decision that we wanted to move forward and take a look at how we can, starting off with Medicanja and Biotech R&D Institute and Flavor Cure, move the research and development, because it was a policy decision that we took that we were not going to be growing ganja or cannabis, because everybody is into it, and in a few years there won't be any real value there. So, and we also took the position that it's about time we as a country move away from the bad decisions where products, banana, sugar, and so on, were shipped overseas, and for people to make secondary and tertiary products. We wanted to make sure that we could make a difference here by showing that we can make secondary and tertiary products. Hence, our movement into the cosmeceuticals and the nutraceuticals and the pharmaceutical arena. And I'll say more about that. However, much of the work that we had done in the past started at Biotech R&D Institute, in which the University of the West Indies owns 10% because we are operating on the university campus. That is at Mona. Medicanja is a private company. We are hoping to go to market, and we have been held back with this banking problems, but we are going to be going to Canada, and once we launch in Canada, then we find it easier to come to Jamaica. Funny, but that's how it is. And then we have linked up with our overseas labs. We have got 3 overseas labs. 2 of them are focused on cannabis products. One of these is called Flavor Cure, and Flavor Cure focuses on the cancers, all types of cancers. And we have made major successes. Only recently, we have had $1.5 million injection of capital, and we're looking for going to market later on this year, and we're looking at a cap of somewhere between $50 and $100 million to move this product. And then we have got Lowe, and Lowe, and by the way, on the matter of Flavor Cure, we are focused on glioblastoma, which is brain cancer, which there's no cure. Very little help is out there, even to treat it. Then we also have pancreatic cancer. Again, that's a major area where there's no treatment, and we expect to have a orphan drug designation for this in the next 5 months or so. We have filed for it, and we expect to get it. That will make our second orphan drug product coming from the FDA in the United States. So we have done that, and in addition to that, we have got prostate cancer, and a lot more will be said about this, because the Caribbean has got, in fact, Jamaica, and yes, the rest of the Caribbean has got one of the highest incidents of prostate cancer. It's the largest killer of black males, not only in Jamaica and the Caribbean, but in the rest of the world. And you're going to hear much more about this in the next 6 months and the work we're doing. And then, of course, we have got Lowe, which is another company. And this company is again, based in Maryland, and both Flavor Cure and Lowe are based in Maryland, Baltimore, because of the research facilities and the movement towards the next level, which is the pharmaceuticals. And then the third company we have, which is not really relevant to Medicanja, is focused on the ball moss, which is another plant which we are working on. So I won't say any more about it. But having said that, I move on to the next one. The research. Research here started officially in 1969 at university campus, and I was, along with Professor Manley West, and later on Dr. Lockhart, developed the first product for glaucoma. Well, it's the first commercial product from cannabis, and I think that's the base on which we have moved on and keep on moving. And just recently, on May 6th, we got another patent, and this patent is for the development of drugs for the treatment of glaucoma and short-sightedness or myopia. And as you know, myopia can lead to glaucoma and glaucoma. And this is, you're looking at, for myopia, about 80% of the world's population will have suffering from this. So the potential there alone is amazing. And then, of course, we have the next area, but we're looking also at the neurodegenerative diseases. In fact, we are working with Harvard University and Duke University on this area, and we are making some major strides there. And we will hear more about this. So I don't want to, unless there's some other questions later, I'll just move on in the interest of time. And then we've got so far about 8 patents dealing with cannabis. And I think we are among the few in the world who have got this. Now, moving on from here, I just want to give you a quick picture of the breadth of the activities that we have. One of these is the nutraceuticals, as I told you, medicinal pharmaceuticals, and also the functional foods that we are working on. And in addition to all of that, we have as I told you, the major pharmaceutical developments, and then cosmeceuticals that we have developed, including perfumes from cannabis, and we have analytical services that we offer to various groups locally and overseas. So that's the sort of thing that I see us going in order to make great strides in the near future. I move on from there. I just want to show you very quickly some of the products that we have made in Jamaica, and we're hoping that we can find a partner in Barbados who would like to work with us to either manufacture these, we can do these on the license, or in fact sell directly to Barbados. And why I want to start off by saying that we focus first of all on pain relief products, because this is an area which is well established, no question about it. And we also looked at developing the products for different purposes, different areas of the body, and for conditions. And Relivium, for example, is a spray, and the idea of doing that is if you have a lower back pain and your arm can't reach it, you just spray it on and it does the job. Relivium is very important there for swelling and inflammation. Damage to the feet is very important there, because people will swear by this. I know they swear by most of them, but ganja rub, which is just pouring out some of the stuff in your hand, rubbing it, and in seconds the pain goes away. And that's a fact. And then Ganjacol is like Limacol, but instead, you know, Limacol from Ayana. But here, it's the cannabis product which will help to soothe you and refresh you. And then we have got Tivasat, which is great for menstrual cramps and nausea and vomiting and so on. And all these products I'm telling you, they have been approved by our Ministry of Health. And we have had to prove by the validity of our claims for them to have done it. So this makes it easy for sale in other Commonwealth countries. And then we come to Somnicon, which we call One Drop. You know the Bob Marley song, One Drop. Now, this is an amazing, we tried this against over 1,000 persons. And if you're stressed and you drop 1 drop either side of your tongue or more as you may require. You don't get high. Children or the wife or the husband is making a problem, a little 1 drop will solve the problem. And then we have Epilepto. Now, you people might have heard about the product which was approved by the FDA recently for GW Pharmaceuticals in England, the first one. We did ours before them, and it works for seizures and other problems of the sort. We produce it at less than 25% their price, and we can sell it, therefore, at no more than 50% and make a handsome profit. But it works also. And then sclericam, you know that multiple sclerosis, there's nothing to treat this. And cannabis is the only potential. So again, we have made this product and it is available now. Now, in addition to the pain products which I just mentioned, we have a number of innovations, great innovations we feel. One of these is called ICANN, I-C-A-N-N, and it's for the treatment of glaucoma. It's what we call a 2nd generation product, moving on from Canosol. Canosol, you drop in your eye, you lose about 70 to 80% of the product. Here, this is sublingual, drop it under your tongue, and it relieves. You can use more than 80%, far less, so therefore the product is much cheaper and very available. And I tell you, my mother used it and she is doing far better than she was with other types of products. And then for the tropical areas in particular, we developed a product called Can Repel. What it does, mosquitoes and biting insects are repelled. If they should bite you before, the redness and the swelling goes away and the itching. So that is a winner for tourists who come to visit us in our various islands. And of course, various dosages and different preparations. Extent of our products that we have put on the market at this time. And just to tell you that we're not just making products, we believe in clinical trials too, because by a lot of people in the world, and especially the medical community and clinical work. So the process starting next trial on what we call palliative care. A lot of people suffering from cancer in particular have a miserable end because of the pain and the cancer. And we have developed a product which we are going to be trying out there, and this will, we hope and expect, will make a difference to people in the last months or years of their life, who are basically zombies on a lot of the heavy medication they are taking. And we know that's going to be a winner. And then we have got a pain management center which we have established, and we have now recently established a health and wellness tourism where we are going to be able to treat. We have a spa, and we have developed several products which we'll use for health and wellness tourism. Now, we believe in education too, and we have these 2 books plus several other things which we have in our education portfolio, we try to, especially onto the right, medical cannabis, the way forward for healthcare practitioners. We have this, and we are going to be using this in a big way for training. We have trained a lot of people in Jamaica on this before. And finally, just to wrap up, I have 12 special things which you should know about cannabis. And I'm not going to go through them, but I'm going to just pick on maybe about 4 of them to mention. The first and most important one, cannabis is a drug, or the plant is a drug plant. And therefore, like any drug, different people are going to be impacted differently. That's the first thing that we must understand. I'm not going to touch on THC, CBD, and all these and strains because these were already well presented by the previous speaker. And therefore, I'm going to go down to some job opportunities because this is very important when we talk about the business of how we can use this for wealth creation and economic development. As you can see, the whole thing of breeding, biotechnology and pharmaceuticals, consulting services, cultivation, infused products, physical security, real estate, and I could go on and on. These are just some of the possible things. And then finally, want to mention here that there is a what is called the endocannabinoid system, and it's a major takeaway. Everybody needs to understand that this endocannabinoid system is like the cannabinoids in your body. Your body makes these, and right at this time, the full understanding of why your body makes the same product, the cannabinoids, like the cannabinoids in the plant. Exciting research is going on it, and it's part of what we need to ask ourselves. Why is this so? And we don't have the answers as yet. And taking all of this into consideration, it is very important to know that this is a major area of research which needs to be followed up. And I want to finish off by thanking you, and I hope I didn't overstay my presentation because I had to rush it, but there's a lot more which can be said. And if you'd like to get a copy of my presentation, I'll be happy to pass it on to you. Thank you.